welcome to the weekly bump. Thank you guys so much for being here. So this pick a card reading, we have 4 piles, piles 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're using all aura quartz, blue, pink, green, and orange. Take a moment, pause the video if you need to allow your intuition to really call you toward one pile or the other. If you feel called toward multiple piles, you are always more than welcome to watch more than one. The timestamps for each will be down in the description box and the comment thread down below. All right, see you guys in just a sec. All right, pile number 1. You guys selected the blue aura quartz. So let's go ahead and see what these cards have to say. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups, 2 of Wands, the Chariot, beautiful, the Lovers, and the Tower. Wow, okay, a lot of major arcana coming out. This is a big week for you. Look, I feel like you guys are being very guided, right? Queen of Cups here. You seem to have something pulling you, feeling compelled to do something, to say something, to go in a certain direction or to make a certain kind of decision. And, you know, there is a fierceness that I'm feeling coming from you this week as well. Like it's a very quiet, passive fierceness. You know, it's not really in your face aggressive, but it's very much there. Like, honestly, I don't know what people are going to do if they cross your path, if I'm being totally legit honest. Because it seems like your vision is, and it might not be the ultimate vision. I'm not saying all of you have like all this perfect clarity or anything, but I do sense that what it is that you're hoping to achieve is very well in focus. 2 of Wands is such a beautiful card. It suggests visualization, being able to see the end game or the end result, you know, really adjusting your energy to be super grateful and super appreciative for the now in order to create space for the future self, to really kick in. And I see something really unstoppable. You know, the Chariot is always really on point. You know, it's coming out upright. So we have this forward motion, forward direction. And I just sense that you guys are motivated this week to really do what it is you want to do. You're definitely feeling the energy of this North Node coming into Gemini, and that is just simply fact. You're feeling the energy, you're feeling the supercharged, you're feeling the creativity, and it's just going to start flowing. And especially because we have this Gemini card as well. We kind of have Cancerian energy and Gemini energy coming out. You may be dealing with people of those signs, but really I think you're just tapping into those qualities within yourself. The Lovers is, of course, you know, we can tie it into romance. And I know we're getting prepared in a couple of weeks for this Venus retrograde. So your relationships, connections, partnerships, your one-on-one interactions can very much be highlighted for you this week as well. But you can really expect really powerful change. Now, I actually like the Tower card a lot coming out with the Lovers and the Chariot because it does signify a call to action. You know, and because you're feeling inspired, Queen of Cups, or you're allowing your intuition to really, you know, take hold and grab root, you know, you're not ignoring these callings. And what happens when we receive callings or we receive intuitive pings and we pay attention to those things and then we act on them, great change can occur. And that's exactly what the Tower signifies, is that there's some modification going on in your day-to-day life, in your patterning, in whatever it is, that is going to be disrupted. And I think the disruption for many people can actually be something that, you know, very welcome. It's a welcome disruption. The Tower, of course, is, you know, we have a little symbol of Mars down here. It's actually very scorpionic in nature. It's very much a sting. So it might not be easy, might not be the best thing you want to hear or whatever, but it's being backed up by your energy. So please make sure that if there is something that comes in and happens, it's because your energy has been calling for something and the energy had to shift. And this is a symptom. You're not a victim of this, you know, it's symptomatic of the change that is going on in your heart and in your energy field, okay? So let's go ahead, take these oracles now, stand your ground, and base chakra. Okay, wow. And we have Mars right next to it here as well. So much strength. Stand your ground. There might be a circumstance or a situation in your life where you are really going to have to like stand up and say no with something or draw some kind of a line. And I can't ignore the fact that we did pull the blue crystal for you guys. And this is so much about speaking, right? The throat chakra, using your voice, using your vibration. And it's coming from a powerful place. That base chakra is, kind of our instinct, our survival mechanism, right? It's kind of that id brain within us. This is like, it's going to react to things in a certain way. But this is maybe the kind of extra shot in the arm that you guys really needed to help you in a certain area of your life. I don't see pile one taking crap from anybody. I don't see pile one feeling weak. I don't see pile one feeling victimized. In fact, this is probably going to be an empowering week for you more than anything. And even if something happens to really shift your reality or your known circumstances, I think it's going to feel good, to be honest. It's going to feel like a shot in the arm of adrenaline kind of thing, which is really fantastic. All right, your dreams need a practical plan. Balance spirituality and practicality. Wow, that word practical plan and practicality coming out here. Wow, that's something. This is not the most dreamy, magical week for you. It's about getting stuff done. And we actually have 2 full moon, right? Full moon in Taurus, full moon in Pisces. So it's not all up in the air, dream state, thinking, believing, dreaming, concocting, visualizing. This is action week. And I don't know what it is, whether you have to, start that website or get that side hustle going or get that Instagram thing going or whatever it is. This is the week to do it and to use your voice. And I see, almost like commanding respect a little bit, walking into a room and just being like, all right, everybody, I got something important to say. You better listen up. And people will, and they do. And that's gonna, the tide is turning for you guys. You are flipping the script, if you will. And what's really happening is I think the practicality is actually matching the spirituality, because we've all been really forced into this super weird place. We've all been forced in this quarantine, social distance, world shutdown kind of thing. And we've all been kind of up in the air. You're like, yeah, we're still working and yeah, we're still doing what we need to do. But it's been hazy, it's been fuzzy, it's been cloudy, and now you guys are like, I'm done with this. I am snapping out of this. I am getting tired of it. I'm just going to try to get my life back to, to something that's more within my control, which I think is great. Okay. Oh, and then first house, which is the body, which even the first house, also Mars, right? This Mars energy really coming out. That first house is, the practicality or the physicality of everything. This is where spiritual meets physical, right? Balance spirituality and practicality. It's exactly where it happens, right? In that house of Aries, where we have that burst or that moment, that giving birth to existence itself, that initial spark of creation. So look, you guys, you are absolutely going to be giving birth to something, some idea. Maybe some of you actually giving birth, but there will be a giving birth of some idea that is a part of your future, and it's a big part of your future, and it is disrupting things. It is disrupting your plan. It is just right. Maybe plans got sped up. Maybe something you were saving for next year is now all of a sudden on the front burner, and you're like, boom, let's go. Let's do this. Let's get this rolling. So let's see what comes out here with these. Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Sorry if there's a glare on these. It does say growth though. And then we also have love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And I actually love that coming out obviously with the Lover's card as well. So we have this expansiveness, with practicality, with standing firm, with progress, with change, with unity. I mean, these are not small themes. And the fact that they're all coming out all at once is a sign for you to not be afraid. It's a sign for you to see, right? To see the good in all things, to see the good in the change, in the tower, to see the good in the movement, and how, the universe is really kind of pushing you forward into something. Now, problematically, there will be a few people who are watching this who aren't going to act. And the more and more you don't act, or the more you hold off or hesitate or resist, the more likely your soul is going to just start screaming at you. And that can cause disruptions in other areas of your life, like your romantic relationship. And when you're not happy with yourself because you're ignoring some kind of very clear signal, you can start getting agitated and irritable and project a lot of things onto people that you don't really mean to. So it is important that you accept responsibility for what's really going on here and just do something about it, because it's not about being in the dream space. It's about the doing of the work. You guys know I'm always flip-flopping. It's like 1 month it's going to be one way, and the next month it's going to be the other way. Sometimes you need to pause. Sometimes you need to surrender. Sometimes you need to let go. And then other times you need to grab the reins and get your butt to work. And this is a grabbing the reins kind of week. All right. And I really think that's going to be that North Node coming into Gemini, which is just going to really push you into a creative spiral, which is going to probably be unstoppable for you for a year and a half. So it's pretty cool. And then we have this card. It says, when I connect to the spiritual realm, I open the door to receive divine guidance, clear direction, and great wisdom. Well, that's the Queen of Cups coming out right here. She is all about the connection and the doorway to the divine. And that's really her realm. That's where she operates. That's where she lives. So, you are you have the information that you need. You have everything you need, you guys. And the only thing that's going to be stopping this progress is you. And I really hope that's not the case. The last card is what is already with you. Okay. To me, this signifies you already have everything you need. Okay. You already have the tools, you have the knowledge, you have the skill, I'm trying to do this all organized. It's not working. I'm trying to be all pretty about it. But, yeah, you have the knowledge, you have the tools, you have the skill, you have the value. You don't have to sit around and wait for the right time, because the time is right now. And I even just have to point out that this is number 17, and we have a 7 and a 1, right? 1 and 7, they all equal 8. And the 8 is, of course, a number of prosperity, good fortune, and good luck. So, you definitely have that on your side as well, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, that's kind of the reading for the week. I'm going to pull out some romantic cards, though, to finish this up for those of you who are interested in romantic energies, because I know that this Venus retrograde is going to be quite potent, as it is coupled with the North Node there and Neptune. So let's just pull out maybe 2 or 3 of these. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So, this whole message is about optimism. This whole message is about having faith in yourself. And I think that when you have that kind of self-confidence, when you have that kind of, ease about you and about your energy, your romantic relationships can either grow and deepen, or you can attract a new one. But this story really is about you doing what your heart is calling you to do. There's nothing more sexy, there's nothing more attractive than that. And even if you have to stand your ground, even if you have to lay down the law a little bit, that will command respect, and with respect, attraction can grow as well. And then we have a card of children. Your love life is being affected by children. Now, some of you, don't have kids, and that's, your businesses and your jobs and your projects can also be considered your children, in that they are your creative, the things you have given birth to creatively, of course. And yeah, it's going to circle back to you in a positive way. And this love that you're feeling, this love that you're really tapping into, and this kind of release of the positivity that already exists within you and the optimism, it's absolutely going to, start drawing people in. Now, if you do have kids, obviously I want to address the people that do have children. There could be some really positive link that happens through your children, right? Maybe you fall in love with your children even more and you start like really seeing them as people, really developing, and you're falling in love with their growth process, right? We did get the card of growth here as well. And that they are positively reflecting back to you your own growth process as well. Children are so wonderful because you grow alongside of them, and they teach you so much, not only just about life, but a lot about who you are as a person as well. So the more authentic you are, the more you see yourself, the better this week is going to go. So this is really a beautiful reading. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much. I really wish you nothing but the best. Have an amazing week. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 2. You guys selected the pink aura quartz. So let's go ahead and see what these cards have to say here. Starting with the Empress, 7 of Cups, 8 of Coins, 4 of Coins, and Strength. Okay, so I'm looking directly at this 8 of Coins. I don't know, you guys seem to be like really fixated on something. Like some idea has come into your head, some quality has been, like honed in on, and you are just going for it. And you know what I love is that it's like in spite of any doubt, right? 7 of Cups, in spite of any doubt or frustration or cloudiness or lack of clarity, you're still just going for it. And I think you're going to be stubborn about it this week. Like you're going to be like, don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. Like I got something to do. I have this thing that I really want to get done. And you're just really plowing through. Of course, we know that the Empress is one of the more creative energies in the tarot because she does signify, like a pregnant woman. And of course, the symbolism of pregnancy is really creating life and giving birth to things. There's also, fertility and everything involved. So your mind is fertile. Your soul is fertile. I mean, it is just absolutely bearing so much fruit right now. And, you might have to have strength to really tell people, for some reason, I'm feeling like you're going to have to turn people away because you're so focused here. Like you're going to have to say no to stuff. You're going to have to be like, nope, I don't want that offer. I don't want that thing. I don't want to go out tonight. Well, I mean, go out. Of course, I know we can't really go out, but you know what I mean? Like you're going to have to turn certain things down for the sake of the thing that you are really focused on. If you're in any kind of an educational program, this is going to be an excellent week for you to study. This North Node in Gemini, it's happening, right? Here it is. It's coming, and we're definitely feeling the switch because the difference between a North Node in Cancer versus a North Node in Gemini, it's quite drastic, right? From the water to the air, it's like, boom, like a really big turnover. So take advantage of that. Gemini is without a doubt one of the most creative signs of the zodiac. So your creativity will be flowing. And it's not just that it's like flowing and it's like existing in like a dream state. You're actually converting it into something real, into something physical. And I even love this kind of heart color, right? The pink is always connected with that heart chakra because it really is coming from the heart. It's not driven by like, oh my God, this is going to make me so much money, or oh my God, like I can't wait to, reap all the rewards. To me, I feel like you're doing things for the right reasons because the Empress would never do anything for the wrong reasons. She's someone who is only provides things that are of value to people, things that matter, things that help people, things that nourish people in some way. So you seem to be very aligned and you're putting your value, your talent to good use. And again, don't forget though, strength. you may have to turn people away in a way that, like they might not like it. And we are making a way into a Venus retrograde. Venus is doing a square with Neptune, and we've got, we're making our way into a Saturn and Jupiter retrograde right now. So we're kind of in this sweet spot of a week right before the retrogrades happen. The planets they're moving slowly, but they're still moving forward. And we're being activated by Gemini, and we're just, you got to keep yourself on point. You got to keep yourself on track, because we don't get energy like this all the time, especially not lately with what's been going on. So I think you're going to feel good. I do. I think you're going to be feeling good. You're going to be, like, wow, this is so great. I feel like this whole world is turning over, and you're going to start really tapping into a lot of positivity. Oh, and then we have the sacral chakra as well, deeply connected with the Empress, in that's, your second chakra, your creative center. Like I said, this is divine, right? Positive movement forward. Absolutely, without a doubt. You are moving and shaking, and things are happening. And this is not a week, I know I've said a lot about, especially even just in the in the monthlies that I did last week, that there's a lot of things happening in the metaphysical, and that's true. But this is a time when your metaphysical world and your physical world are really merging, and they're beginning to match. So it's not all just in the energetic frequency realm. This is what happens when all of a sudden it makes that turnover, or that switch from the unseen or the untouchable to the seen and touchable, which is really going to feel magical. And it might feel like a magical week. You might be like, wow, I don't, man, it's not always like this. And I know that you're going to feel very grateful for the energy, right? Positive. We even have that word positive. We have a number 8, which is like, a number of prosperity and good fortune and wealth and all of that. This is kind of a similar reading to pile number 1, actually. And, it just, to me, it seems like you're going to finish up the week, or even the next couple of weeks, and you're going to be like, wow, like what a great wave. Like I totally caught that wave. I feel good. I accomplished so much, and I'm so proud of myself for doing what I did. And now I really realize maybe a little bit more of what I'm capable of doing. Yeah, the energy is gaining momentum. I mean, wow, positive movement forward. The energy is gaining momentum. It's waxing, right? This is a waxing moon energy. And then nothing yet set in stone, which means that there is nothing permanent going on here. So you're moving and things are happening, but there's still a lot that can happen, which hopefully that's good news. That's good news, because you don't know what opportunity could just come flying out in front of you without even realizing, or without even maybe even trying. You don't know what kind of, what kind of thing could turn over for you. So I'm sensing a great deal of sensitivity and intuition coming from you guys. But I don't know that tapping into the global collective energy is really that productive for you right now, when you could have a lot of personal success for you as an individual. Okay, so I think this is ultimately a much better place for you to put your, to dedicate time and energy, is in the things that you can do, and that you can do quickly, well, high quality, and quickly. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Capricorn. I even love the kind of indigo color coming out with the purple, pink color sort of matching the stone, kind of match with the teal. There's an element of beauty and Venusian energy mixed with the dark kind of underworld. But this Capricorn, I use energy, right? This is all earth type of stuff. This is about the physicality. We're not talking la-di-da, woohoo kind of stuff, And that's when I think we start feeling, or we start realizing how powerful our magic actually is. When we start realizing like, oh, all these intentions that I put forward, like way back in Scorpio season, and we had this huge disruption, but yet still here are things coming to fruition in such magical ways. Capricorn is a very magical sign, by the way, and I know it doesn't get enough street cred for that, but it is a very magical sign, because it is the sign where things become manifest, for sure. And it's a time to take advantage of that. Okay, so a lot of purple. Wow, relationships. Okay, so definitely connection with your heart chakra, your crown chakra, your third eye chakra. Essentially, your top 4 chakras actually being illuminated here in these the second layer of cards. Obviously, we have the second one here, but relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good, and we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Well, if that's not a match for Capricorn and the 8 of Coins and the Empress, then I don't know what is. Perseverance also matching strength. So there you go. Strength is focus. Focus requires perseverance. It requires dedication. And for whatever reason, this week, right now, you are absolutely going to feel that dedication that you need. Okay? So stay in, well, I say stay in the office, but I know no one's really going to the office right now. But, stay in the office a little bit longer. That's okay. If you need to do a little workaholic thing this week, that's fine. If you need to, close the bedroom door or close the office door, whatever, that's fine. Now, your relationships, I am attracted to those who serve my higher good. What's really happening is because your energy has shifted so dramatically and drastically, probably since, really like January, February, and you may have had some interesting experiences with your circles of friends and your romantic relationships. And because your energy is shifting, the people around you are shifting as well. And I suspect this is going to be a major focus because we have a Venus retrograde we're making our way into right now. And it's going to be important for you to allow people to fall away if it's time for them to fall away, so that you can make room for the new people that can, really help carry out your dreams and help you carry out the things that you're hoping to have in your life. All right. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. Yeah, as much as I talk about all this being so practical, it is driven by your dreams, by the way. It is driven by the desires that you have for yourself in this life. And, it is important, though, I will say, to still make sure that you are dedicating time to appreciation for the here and now. And you can be very appreciative for this 8 of Coins. I love the 8 of Coins, you guys. I think that's officially, I'm going to maybe declare that one of my favorite cards in the tarot. It's like the 8 of Coins and the Hierophant. The 8 of Coins is the place where we feel like we are doing what we were meant to do. And we love what we do and we're good at it and we have a talent for it and we know how to do it. And, it's easy for us. And when we take that path, when we do the things that are easy for us, not to say we won't have obstacles, but if you love it, they don't really seem like obstacles, right? They just seem like a part of the journey. And then the universe is like, oh, wow, like this person is on the fast track, right? Positive movement forward. The energy is gaining momentum. Nothing is yet set in stone. Perseverance and strength and stubbornness. And, the universe is going to be like, oh, wow, holy cow, this person is actually being very courageous. This person is putting themselves out there. They're really doing it. And it's like the universe is going to have to grapple a little bit with let me do what I got to do now. It's like kind of, you have the baton, like you have the control now, and the energy around you is going to start shifting quite rapidly. And listening for truth. Oh, that's beautiful. And you have been listening for your truth, right? The truth of your true authentic calling and what you can do to really make this world a better place and how to spend your time in the most productive way so there are no regrets near the end. And I sense that you are just simply aligning, and that's the basis of the story. It's just, this is what happens when people click into place, when all of a sudden all these pieces of the puzzle just come together and you can now see the full picture. I'm not saying you're going to get to the finish line this week, but I am saying that major steps are going to be taken this week just simply because you're in the mood. You're just simply in the mood to do the things that you know you got to do to get you to where you want to be. Yeah. I do struggle a little bit with, continuing to reinforce the like, oh, I want to live my best life and I want to get somewhere other than where I am. I do want to just, hammer in. It is so important that the only thing that exists though is like the right now. And when you're feeling these positive emotions and this positive swing of energy right now, that is like the wind catching the sails, and all of a sudden you just happen to be in the right place at the right time. Your mind was open, your heart was open, your creative center was open, and the wind caught the sails and now it's pulling you. But you're not really doing anything other than being still. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to contradict myself. I just want to make sure that, we have that distinction, because one of the foundational or fundamental teachings is like, don't try so hard, right? This isn't a story of trying and exerting a great deal of effort. This is just what happens when you feel charged. Now, for those of you who are interested in romance, I'm going to pull a couple romance cards because of the Venus retrograde. Let's see. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. But see, we have this relationships card that says, I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So make sure that if you are in a situation where you're not on the same page with your partner, like they're not as excited about stuff as you are, and maybe you're just kind of like the energy's just weird, or if you have a connection in that person, I'm trying to get all these straight, but they're not seeming to want to go straight. But you have a connection, or you're, really attracted, or you have a crush on someone who might not really be returning the feelings. I promise you, the universe is intervening. It's trying to get you to the next place. Like, just leave that person behind, because it's just not worth the energy, because that's the antithesis of the whole story coming out here. So when you are aligned, when you are doing the things you love, you will automatically attract the right people. And it's not worth it to waste so much time and energy on someone that just simply might not be in your path. I think acceptance of unrequited love is something that's not talked about enough, although it is more and more now, like on social media and stuff, but we need to make that a less romantic thing, right? That's not romantic, that's painful. So if you're not seeing eye to eye with someone and you guys both don't want the same thing, then what's the point? And then this one is express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Okay, so I'm not trying to confuse you guys, I promise you. But sometimes you do just got to say the thing you got to say. And whether it's returned or not, sometimes you do have to get it out of your system, get it out of your body. So if you are, maybe you're either one or the other. Maybe this isn't a both kind of thing, but with the Venus retrograde in Gemini, North Node in Gemini, you will likely feel compelled to tell somebody something. And if you can get to that place mentally, spiritually, and emotionally where maybe you don't care so much about whether it's returned, but you need to do it, you need to say it, you need to make that gesture so that you know that you did it. All right. And then you can kind of leave it in their court or whatever. I'm not sure how that's going to speak to you. Promise you, I'm not trying to confuse you, but don't be afraid to say what you got to say, even if it is an unrequited situation. Okay. And if you are married and of course you're committed and you're together, if you're just simply not feeling like you're on the same page, or the chemistry is just really off sexually, you're not connecting, then bring it up, right? Talk about it, put it on the table, like hash it out, and, make it less awkward, make it less weird somehow, play with it. It doesn't have to be so serious. Okay. All right, pile number 2. Thank you so much for everything. I wish you nothing but the best. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Okay, pile number 3, you guys selected the green aura quartz. So let's go ahead and see what comes through here. Okay, 3 of Swords, 8 of Swords, Temperance, Page of Swords. Wow, okay, and Seven of Swords. That's a lot of swords, you guys. Wow. Interesting that we have, the Temperance card in the very center of the deck, or the pile, or the spread rather, indicating balance and moderation and zen and, heightened awareness. There's a bigger picture to all this, guys. I promise you that. I don't know what's going on. Clearly, there's a lot of stress. You're feeling maybe, I know that a lot of people have experienced a lot of loss during this pandemic time, and you may be feeling just really imprisoned by that. Maybe you've lost your job. That can be an excruciating, experience, really take an emotional toll on you. There can be, just feelings of like anxiousness just to get out of the house and, go to the gym. Like, I finally got a text message from my manicure people, and I tried to book an appointment. They're like, nope, sorry, we're all booked. So things are slowly starting to open up. But, I know we're still not quite there yet. And then we have the Page of Swords, which does indicate the desire for freedom. And like, can we just for a second, I love the big clouds, the big puffy, huge white clouds that kind of look like cotton candy. It's just so like this concept of a big sky. And I just see you just wanting to step outside and to stretch and to like be free from all of this nonsense and, whatever happened. If someone broke your heart, if someone hurt you or said something to really disappoint you, it's just like I think you want more than anything just to like, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to think about this. I don't want to like still be in this place. And Temperance is coming in as a reminder of like, do your meditations, make sure you breathe, a lot of air coming out here. So please make sure you're breathing. Please make sure you're doing, deep soul searching meditations. Of course, green is the color of the heart chakra, which is, love and calming energy. And it's, when it's really overactive, it can be, of course, always problematic. So calm. Find the balance point, find the things that you can control and focus on those. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be easy for you to just completely, run away from these swords because, our thoughts are always right there. We even have a eagle. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but there's kind of like a bird in the clouds there kind of chasing or following along. So it's not easy to get away from thoughts, and it's not really the goal of meditation either. It's just to not attach to your thoughts so much and to not give so much weight to them. If you have been deceived, if you have been lied to, if you have had a negative experience like that, like I say, Temperance is here as a reminder that it's part of a bigger picture. There's something else going on. It's really hard for us to understand the full spectrum here when we can only see in such a narrow way. Like what you can see is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, right? The light spectrum. But we know we have ultraviolet and infrared, and we have x-rays and microwaves and all these other different wavelengths that we cannot perceive. So you have to understand that what you are perceiving is not the entirety of all the information. Okay, so just breathe, stay calm, relax. Like you're much more empowered than I think you feel. So when it comes to money, when it comes to progress and dedication and movement forward and beginning your new projects and all of that, you're more empowered than you realize. But this might be a week where you need to just maybe separate a little bit and just to be able to find that kind of balance there to really heal from whatever is really happening. Okay, we have love begins and we have shadow. Clearly, you're definitely getting a lesson in the shadow work, that's for sure. Definitely getting a lesson in, that kind of moonlight, delusionary, not quite clear kind of thing. But, maybe something has happened in your life that has made you feel very afraid, and what your inner child really needs is just a big hug and just someone to say like, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Don't worry, things are moving, time changes. Time is the greatest healer of all time, and that these lessons are not for nothing, and whatever that is. So you need to have that shadow work. You need to go deep within yourself and really connect with what's really bugging you and what's really making you feel a certain way. And of course, if it's a loss of money or a broken heart from a romantic situation, why is it that this hurts so much? And why is it that maybe you're feeling a little bit more trapped rather than empowered by the whole thing? So there will be some deep conversations, but I suspect really positive. You'll come to some resolution. You will definitely find some kind of an answer and have some sort of divine, burst of lightning that comes into your heart that really just makes sense, where everything just really makes sense. And you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it now. I understand. I didn't see it that way before. And if it wasn't for this, then maybe this never could have really come in. That's what this stuff always is. Whenever we're in this really point of contention, I just don't know that you're handling the North Node in Gemini very well. It's not quite there yet, the time that I'm making this video, but maybe for some of you that will watch it later on in the week, it will definitely be in Gemini. So you will be feeling the Cancerian energy giving over the baton to the Gemini energy, and man, is it different. We will feel more anxious, but also more energized as well. So maybe some of you just need to find a new outlet to really channel your energy and to channel your thoughts a little bit, okay? Now we have believe in the impossible and a time for healing. Now the first two piles, it's interesting. The first two piles were dedicated toward action and doing things, but I don't know that that's really going to be the case for pile 3. Pile 3, you may be really doubting yourself a lot, doubting your abilities, doubting your talents and your skills, and doubting what's really possible for you. Maybe just feeling a little defeated or a little weak or whatever, but it's really not the case. Again, that's just perspective. Believe in the impossible. That's a card that comes out, especially with the love begins. Like, start casting wishes. Now is an excellent time for you to start, wishing for things. But, I said this in one of the monthlies, and I think it's important to reiterate this here. There is nothing more powerful than barely wanting something. When we go into a desire with desperation, it's like, it's kind of toxic, So it is important for you to have faith, but this is not loud, desperate, a lot of projection kind of stuff. This is faith. Believing that this opportunity is really out there, believing that, whatever needs to happen can happen, believing that the inspiration will come, believing that you can be at peace. It is important for you to, at least make it known to the universe what it is that you're hoping to achieve. Don't be afraid to ask, and you can ask for really weird things. You don't have to ask for things that are within the box, like, I would really like to have a job. Maybe that's a little too small. Maybe you should ask for, like, I want a life where I never have to worry about money, or something along those lines. Or I want, to be married and have an amazing family, not just like I'd like to meet someone. Like, ask for the whole enchilada, ask for the big thing. But once you ask for it, you have to release it, Page of Swords. You don't have to desperately cling to this request that you're making to the universe. Like, you're constantly having a conversation with the universe at all times. So it is important for you to just, understand that no matter what you say, the universe will hear you. So you only need to really make that request once, and then it's done. All right? And then once you make the request, you can put your weapons down, put your defense mechanisms down, get real with yourself, do the shadow work, and allow yourself to really heal from whatever has happened, And this is, kind of a period of familiarizing yourself with your new, circumstances, or this new mindset that you have, to familiarize yourself with what it feels like to be a healed person, okay? Oh, wow, so much moon energy. Oh my gosh, I can't even, like, this is crazy. We have the moon cards, of course, and then this is kind of like the moon card in the tarot. So, and then we have the moon card, which is your soul. Yeah, you're doing deep soul work for sure. You're having, this is legit conversations with your higher self. There's just no other way to slice it. That's just simply what's happening. You have to acknowledge that these conversations are happening all the time anyway. So you need to pay attention to the thought and emotion frequencies that you're emitting on a consistent basis. The soul and the moon, again, is really trying to really heal and to become whole. And the moon is kind of like the keeper of all the memories. It's the vault that has all the information from all of your alternate lives on different multiverses and all your past lives and future lives. And, it really contains all of that. It's the gatekeeper between this reality, which is, here in front of the veil and, behind the veil. So, the moon seems to be releasing information for you to really process, and it may be manifesting in actual circumstances with relationships and people in your life, but it's not for nothing. Okay, this is happening because you're needing to heal not only from this thing. This is actually a manifestation of the healing that needs to be done. So it's actually backwards. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm babbling. I feel like I'm like, da, 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 da. That's Gemini. Oh, Gemini energy does not set well with me. It's super tough. So let me say it again. The circumstances that are here are actually manifestations of the moon energy releasing things that need to be healed, rather than, oh, you need to heal because this happened. Does that make sense? I'm not going to repeat myself. Hopefully it makes sense. Otherwise, I'm just going to beat a dead horse there. This is a card that says doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. And then we have death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Yeah, exactly. We hash that in like every month in tarot readings, and the death card comes out all the time. That's exactly the case, is things end and new things begin. And there never really is an ending. It's just an infinite circle or an infinite cycle of flux. It's just always ebb and flow all the time. So just because something is being cut off doesn't mean nothing ever will begin again. Now we have doubt. I think I said that word. Did I use the word doubt? Maybe I didn't. But doubts and insecurities absolutely can be things that you're needing to process here with this shadow work. And there's no need for you to doubt your talents, your abilities, your skills, your value. If you're having difficulty in relationships right now or in your love life, like maybe there are things you need to work on, but that relationship came into your life specifically because you needed to work on it. So it's not because you did X, Y, and Z that this didn't work. It's this didn't work because you needed to learn, what needed to be worked on. So when I'm tuned into the energy of abundance, I become abundance. And this is the reminder from Temperance, the Love Begins card. To just make sure that you take time, you take a moment, you take a breath, you breathe, and you express appreciation for all the things that you have, for all of the gifts, for all of the people in your life, for all of the circumstances that have worked out well, and all the gratitude for the things that are doing well in your life. That's going to be important because that invites the new beginnings in. It doesn't give so much focus on the ending. It puts new focus on the new beginning, which is like two sides of the same coin. And then restore and replenish. Okay, yeah, there is a need to withdraw, time for healing and shadow work, a need to withdraw, a need to isolate. And I know we are physically isolating, but maybe it's a time for emotional isolation, not in a, negative way, but for processing. I think there's definitely a lot of processing needing to happen here. All right. So for those of you who are here for romance, I am going to pull out a couple of romance cards. I know this Venus retrograde is going to be interesting, so any help I can give you. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Some of you may have really needed to hear that if you have had a recent heartbreak with that Three of Swords. I don't necessarily believe that it's a time to get back together, but I do think it's a good time for you to get back together with yourself. All right. And so free yourself and separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Don't freak out if you're married, all right? Doesn't necessarily mean, that you are going to divorce or anything like that. It could just mean you just need some alone time, right? To process, to heal. Exactly, right? You need to isolate. You need to, go through it. You need to go through the feelings. You need to go through the emotion and learn how to release yourself from those things, to learn how to forgive, to learn how to be more compassionate and understanding. It is going to be beneficial for you to understand that everybody has their own path. And when you start to really come to grips with what that means, it's really hard to be mad at people. It's really hard to be mad at anything when you realize that everyone has their own path. And you can't really look at anything and be like, well, that's bad and that's good. It's just choices, and that's really all it is. So you are coming into higher levels of consciousness a lot, probably this week and in the weeks to come. So just give yourself the space to really do that. Okay? All right, you guys. I love you. I will see you guys soon. Have an amazing week. Okay, pile number 4. You guys selected the orange aura quartz. Let's go ahead and see what these cards say for you guys. Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, Five of Wands, Ace of Wands, and the Four of Wands. Okay. Kind of seeing a little bit of a story coming out here. I'm seeing two people back to back. Okay, we have a knight and a queen, backs facing each other. I'm feeling that there's clearly some kind of a disagreement or some kind of an issue or argument or something that may arise. I'm not trying to put bad blood in the water here, but I'm just saying that if you do find yourself, at odds with someone, whether it is a romantic partner or a child or a boss or a coworker, that I think it's going to be a very short-lived situation, and that, solutions will actually come about quite quickly, and that it might actually strengthen your bond beyond expectation. But I do sense kind of a sharpness coming because of the sword energies, kind of some people just got an edge, people really reacting to this North Node coming into Gemini, and, we're feeling the shakiness, and it's kind of unearthing us, and it's like, as I'm at the time of making this video, obviously the North Node hasn't quite transitioned, but by the time many of you watch it, it's likely that it has. So we're feeling that turnover into the hyperactive, creative, lots of mind and intellectual activity, and people just simply are going to be on different pages, and we need to kind of accept that, and we need to understand that that's a part of what's going to happen. For us to have a lot more compassion and a lot more understanding would be really beneficial. Now, I do sense that there are, you're each going to try your best to be as diplomatic, but this might be a situation where you have to agree to disagree, or you have to just wait until a third option really comes around. I am sensing a little bit of hard-headedness coming out, just people being a little bit more stubborn. This whole quarantine thing is really setting a lot of people on edge as it is, not only, to mention the astrological transits involved. So, people may cut a little bit deeper than normal or than they would otherwise. And so you do have to be cognizant of how you talk to each other and how you speak. There could be an element of, people flip-flopping and you're like, wait a second, like last week you just said this and now you're saying this, like make up your mind. And it can be, kind of uncomfortable. I am sensing some awkwardness. But again, like I say, it's going to be short-lived because here we have the Ace of Wands with the Four of Wands, which suggests a new path, a new venture, a new idea, a new something coming into the limelight, and it actually really working out and becoming really great for both people. So again, it's not a forever, it's just a small blip on the radar. So that's a good thing. Okay, we have a card of solitude and we have a card of sacrifice. Okay, interesting. So solitude, sacrifice, there's going to need to be compromises here, and it might be in your best interest to take time apart, to take a moment to separate, to stop talking for a while, allow silence to kind of fill in the gap, and just allow yourself to process and to really think about things. Now, I don't necessarily know that this is active thinking. I don't know that you need to sit there and, think about it, but ideas will come. Solutions will come. I don't see a third party, so it's not like there's going to be someone involved that's going to mediate. This is really just between you and someone else. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be like a fight or anything, really aggressive at all. It's just, you may just want different things, and you're going to have to find a way. Each of you are going to have to bend a little bit. There is going to have to be some sacrifice involved. I don't know that either one of you is just going to cave. There's definitely stubbornness involved here. So I do sense that one of you is going to be more diplomatic than the other. One might get more angry. One might be a little bit more heated. Maybe you guys are going to be the more calm ones. Okay, what do you need to release? All right, well, that goes with the sacrifice card. And then a personal issue reaches resolution. Okay, well, there you go. Personal issue, and what do you need to release? Yeah, people need to let stuff go. You need to get over it. You need to move on. You need to talk about something new, and it's really going to be tough if you're so locked in. You're going to drive yourself crazy. If this is something with a brother or a sister, this is kind of sibling rivalry at its finest. And because Gemini is the sign of siblings, all right, specifically brothers, you will likely it's possible that you may have something happen in that regard, especially if you have a difficult brother in your family. But you need to take a moment and ask yourself, what can I release? You need to be the one that is a little bit more mature and say, okay, we can do this. We can initiate this negotiation. I mean, that's kind of what I feel like. It is a little bit of a negotiation. But again, here's the resolution. So not really a big deal. Oh, Libra, I balance. This reading is getting weird. If this is your spouse, if this is your partner, I see you reuniting, and I actually see strong sexual energy coming out for you, which signifies maybe some really amazing makeup sex, if that's the case, right? Ace of Wands. Some makeup sex, really intense passion, and, apologies and those kinds of things. It's like a cat or a dog that accidentally bites you or scratches you, and then they feel guilty, and then they come and they try to be all nice to you, right? So clearly that they feel guilty and they know that maybe they took it a little too far, and yet there's still love, there's still union, there's still togetherness. No one is abandoning anybody. But in the heat of the moment, it is probably better for you to walk away than it is to say things that you will ultimately regret and can't take back. Consciousness in a heated moment is very difficult. Awareness and tapping into the way you want to be. It's so easy for us to be sitting here and watching videos, self-help, self-development, spiritual consciousness kind of stuff. We can sit there all day long and watch these videos, but when it comes to those real life interactions, we always kick into our subconscious. We always kick into that programming that, was put into our brain at 3 years old. always. And so it takes so much extra effort, so much emphasis on, like, I'm feeling angry when you're feeling angry. I'm feeling like I want to say some bad stuff when you're wanting to say that bad stuff. And to be able to filter it in real time, that's extraordinary kind of effort. And it's really, really hard to do. And yet that's what I see coming out here. You being able to hold your tongue, you being able to walk away, you being able to, just put it down, set it down, and just like, hey, I need a day, I need a couple days, let me just think about stuff. Okay? And if you can do that, because Libra is a very non-confrontational energy. I don't think this is something you want to deal with. I don't think this is something the other person wants to deal with. And yet here you are, it's kind of fallen in your lap. So you're definitely going to have to talk about it. But, there's going to need to be some compromise. And compromise is never really that great because two people kind of lose a little. So it's not the best thing. If you can come up with some kind of a win-win situation, that's going to be the best. And the Four of Wands to me is an indication that maybe you do come up with a win-win, but you're going to need space. You're going to need solitude. You're going to need to release the idea of what you think you need in this moment in order to invite that new win-win solution into the space. Okay? Change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And what did I say? You're going to have to let go, and you're going to have to change your mind or change your idea of what you think it's supposed to be. And then we also have honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And, that's also hard in the heat of the moment. Because sometimes we just say things just to make a point, but it might not necessarily be what we truly feel or what we truly think. It might just simply be what we know we got to say to win the argument, right? So clarity is going to be important, and you're going to need the solitude to really do that. You need to bend. I think if you are willing to bend, the other person will bend as well. But for whatever reason, I feel like you need to take the lead on this. You need to be the leader. You need to be the cardinal energy that puts your, one step forward in that direction so as to make it okay for the other person. Otherwise, if you're stubborn, they're just going to be stubborn back, and then resolution will be more, it'll be harder to really come by. So, you need to be open. You need to connect with your guides. You need to connect with, your higher intelligence here, and just kind of ask for help and ask for guidance. And it will come, right? Ace of Wands. Don't worry. It will definitely come. Oh, and there it is. Well, I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. And what did I just say? It will come. Yeah. I accept that good things come easily. If you go into the request knowing that the answer will come, then yes, it will come. Follow your own rhythm. Kind of goes along with this solitude card. Taking a beat, doing things on your own time frame. If you're feeling pressured in any way, first of all, I don't think that pressuring anybody right now it's just simply not going to work. There's no way that anyone is going to do anything because someone else is pressuring them. Not in this scenario. And you are going to have to, pace this. I'm hearing like the rhythm, like the beat, like the timing. I'm actually like envisioning a metronome in my mind. I don't know if you guys know what a metronome is. I'm envisioning a metronome, and I'm actually envisioning like those old twisty ones that you had to twist it up. And I feel like it's slowing down. Like you need to slow down the metronome, slow down the pacing, because someone else is really just going to be very pushy. But if you crack under pressure, you're going to be very unhappy, and you might get like what I might call buyer's remorse. Even though you're not technically buying something, but you're going to agree to something that you don't really agree with, and that will be problematic for you. So just make sure you're being honest with yourself about what you want, and if you need space, please take it. You are the setter of the rhythm. Okay. Now, for those of you who are interested in romantic energy, I am pulling out some romance angel cards. this Venus retrograde. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. And this is definitely a learning experience, I'll give you that. And maybe what you used to do in romance, right? This is an opportunity for you to really face who you used to be. And that can be a real tough pill to swallow sometimes. You know, if you used to be someone that would get really worked up or, you know, really angry, but now you've learned and now you know that maybe you need time, you know, to figure it out. And that's a beautiful thing. You have evolved in your relationships, you guys. And make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And you will be guided because you've asked. The answer comes and it will come. And it is worth the effort. I don't see, like I say, I don't see separation. I don't see anything really that bad. It's about resolution more than anything and working it out. So you're going to have to find a way, but you're going to have to take the lead on it as well. Okay? All right, pile number 4. Thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you have an amazing week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.